I appreciate all your patience with this. It's a pain in my butt too. Okay. We're knitting all the way around. In my case, I've already done the first needle. I'm onto the second. You know what I might do? I might just put the pattern here for the moment and just sit here and chat with you while I'm trying to get the boring part done. Because it's one thing when I'm showing you how to do the slip knits and everything, and it's another if I'm trying to actually like get around the round. It's just really super difficult to do with the angle I have everything at. I always say, oh, I'm gonna try to find a better way to do things, but so far I'm not having a lot of luck with that. So keep going around. Keep going around. You can hear my needles clacking and stuff. I never considered, I mean, it would be cool to get one of those cameras with the tripod that sit down over you and it broadcasts on your computer and you can just watch it that way. That would be cool. I really don't think I will be spending money on an expensive rig like that. I don't really know how much of this I will, I'm not going to be doing this professionally. This is not my day job. I don't even know if it will ever be my day job. So here we are. Okay, so I'm on the 4th needle. In your case would be your last 19. Okay. You can see where that Russian join is. It's a little thicker, but it's not bad. It'll be hardly noticeable in a finished product, and you can just trim the ends as if they poke out. Not a big deal. Now on this last 19, only knit 18. Okay. Get to the end of the thing, and we're going to be slipping. Alright, you're going to be, if you're using circulars, it'll be a little bit easier, but we're going to slip this stitch onto that needle. Okay? That's going to be the first stitch now of the new round. Alright, so we're going to be doing, round 3 is a slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 14, repeat. Okay? So we've just slipped that onto our needle. So slip it as if to knit, slip the next one as if to knit, and then ta-da! And then knit 1. Take the next 2 stitches. Use your fingernail if you have one. Get that needle in there. Knit 2 together. And then let's see what we have left on our needle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In this case, 15. So we're going to be moving a lot more stitches than just that one because of our double pointed needles. This is something you have to adapt. If I were doing this with circulars, would not be an issue. But I don't have circulars that fit, so I'm doing it with double pointed needles, so make sure your count is right when you're doing this. So we're going to do 15. 1, or 14, excuse me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, we got 1 stitch left, right? Do the same thing you did on that first one. Just slip this stitch right onto that needle. Okay. Now we're going to slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 14. You'll probably, if you're doing DPNs like me, you'll have 15 on here. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, we're going to slip this needle directly onto the third needle. Okay, so we're going to slip. Hi, Shelly. Slip. Get that needle on so that the right needle is in the back and the left needle is in the front. Slip, slip, knit. Knit 1. Come on, work with me, knitters. Okay. 2 together. Knit 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so now scoot that up a little. So this is why I like DPNs, because they have 2 ends. So you don't have to worry about any of that. I'm going to take a quick drink of my coffee. Hello, Mindy. Quick drink of coffee. Got to keep these dulcet tones all lubricated, right? So once again, we're going to stick your needle in as if you're going to knit, but slip it off. Do the same thing with the second one. Put it back onto the needle like that. Yarn over. Both knit and knit 1. And then we're going to knit 2 together. Oops. And now we're at the part where we have to do 14. And because we slipped that stitch before, right? So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you again with the pattern. And I'm going to knit the round. This one is you repeat round 2 when you get to that next round. And that is you're going to knit all the way around until you get to the last needle, or last stitch. And you're going to slip that last stitch onto the left needle unworked. Don't work it, just slip it to the last stitch. It has been very sunny, but a little chilly around here lately. It was kind of, the wind is a little cold, kind of annoying. Alright, so I'm starting on my first needle, doing my knit around. I hope that this isn't too boring for you, just me talking while you're looking at a piece of paper while I'm just going through and knitting. But at this point, I've been showing the knitting stitch for so long that I have a feeling that most of you got it. You get what a knit stitch is and or a purl stitch. So watching me try to do this is not exactly the most exciting thing. I'm sure paint drying is a little more entertaining. Oh, hi, Shelly. Oh yeah, is anyone working on a free stitch along? I was doing, not at this right now. There's a couple I'd really like to do. There's a couple of kits I'd really like. But I was doing Helen Shrimpton's Sacred Spaces one, but I think it had already been all done. She had everything all put out. She wasn't doing any more weekly drops. So currently, no. I'm just trying to do some projects and have a good time. Keep talking so this doesn't get totally boring. Somebody's gonna log on and be like, oh, what the hell? We're just looking at this thing and she's babbling. What? Yeah, well, not everything can be perfect and wonderful. I am not a professional. I'm merely someone who really likes my hobby. I'm trying to start. Oh, that sounds pretty. Now there's a yarn kit that I want to get. It's like 60 bucks, but it's you get the pattern for free when you buy the kit. And it's a really cute little shawl, but I really don't need to make another shawl, and I don't really need to spend 60 bucks. So, alright, so I'm on my last needle, folks. So I'm going to get all the way to the end. In the case of circulars, once again, this is, you just have to make sure you count properly. You can use the stitch markers like this to help you with your count. You know, put it every so many, and that will help you keep track of that, but you'll have to slip them every time when you're doing the thing. So you'd have to take them off and slip them and put them in different spots. So it might not be the best idea, but if you're having problems, you can also do that with like the claw type, the clip types. All right, so I'm at the last stitch. Okay, I'm not gonna work it on this fourth needle. I am instead going to slide it onto the first needle. Okay, so that was round 4. Now we're going to be doing round 5, and this is 17 rounds of doing this. It'll go faster as you get further in, because you will be reducing the number of stitches you're going to be doing by quite a bit. So we're going to be doing round 5, which is, we're starting out with a slip, slip as if to knit, put it back on that left needle, knit the stitches off together, knit 1, knit 2 together, okay, and you'll start to see, as you get further in, you'll start to see how it's going to make the crisscross. Alright, so now we have to knit 12. So how many do we have on here? Probably 13. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 13. So we're going to be slipping the stitches like we did before. So knit 12. Now if you were doing these on circular needles, at a certain point your circular needle will get too big and you won't be able to do it. And that's when they want you to switch to the double pointed needles. And so it's very similar to how I cast on to the double pointed needles. Okay, you're just going to be sliding the needles. What you do is you're going to want to knit the correct amount on each of your needles. So if this were a circular, if this were my circular, I would take my DPN and I would start this repeat with it. I would do the slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, and then I would knit 12, and then I would let it drop, and I would get my next DPN, and I would do the next repeat off the circular. And that way, when you get all the way around, you'll have you'll have the correct stitches on each double pointed needle, which is excellent. And you can do the close up, because otherwise you'll ruin the stitches trying to, it just will not close up the way you need it to. All right, so we're going to knit 12. And if you're wondering, most knit hats are like this. There are others. I mean, I could have done one where you knit it flat and then you seam up. These have a nicer, neater, cleaner, and more solid, long-lasting approach, in my personal opinion. So that's why I prefer to do this. Plus, I weirdly enjoy working on double-pointed needles. All right, so we did our 12 Then we're going to take that last stitch, put it on there, and that's the same thing you'd be doing with the DPNs if you took them off the circulars. Alright, so we're going to slip, slip, and knit, knit 1, and knit 2 together. Okay, and then do the 12. I might need to open a window. It's like, I say it's cold and then suddenly I'm warm, and it's worse at a south-facing window. So when that sun comes in, it comes in and it's nice, but when you have also 2 computers in the same area, it generates a lot of heat. Alright, I'm on to my last needle. I'm going to slide that stitch onto there. And I know it's my last needle because here's my tail. I'm going to be sewing that tail in at the end. Okay, so remember we're going to slip, slip, knit the 2 together, knit 1, knit these 2 together. And then we're just going to knit all the way to the end. Now the next round is the same thing, knit all the way around. So round 6, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be knitting all the way around to the last stitch, and then you're going to slip that last stitch. Don't work it, just slip it onto your first needle again. And we continue, and you remember we're going in a spiral. When you're knitting in the round, it's very similar to crocheting in the round the way you would with an amigurumi. Those little dolls, they're all done in spirals. So it's all going to be, you have to know where your beginning is every time. And that's why the stitch markers in crochet are so important. Now I could just say, okay, I'm going to come back afterwards and I'm going to show you how to close this up and create the pom-pom. What I'm going to be using to make pom-poms are these, and Shelly bought these for me. And they are Clover pom-pom makers. And I've got a small and a medium. They come tinier and they come much bigger. These are cool. If you decide that you really hate crocheting and knitting, but you've still got all this stinking yarn to deal with, get pom-pom makers. You could also do weaving too, which weaving is really cool. I've not tried it in a very, 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 very long time. But if you want fast projects that are kind of fun, I have seen where they use the yarn and they make pom-poms in all these different sizes, and then they make a big rug out of them. They sew the pom-poms onto rug backs, and you can make some really neat shapes, colors, gradients, faces, whatever. I mean, the sky is the limit. But it's fun, it's fast, and little kids can use them. These are Clover. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's other brands, but these Clover ones are pretty clever and not too expensive. They're actually relatively inexpensive. Shelly, I think, got ours at Joann's, and I've seen them there in the knitting section with the knitting tools. And it's just a fast, easy way to use up yarn that you don't have around. Like, once I'm done with this hat, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this skein. There's not enough to make anything else out of it. I could do a scrap blanket, I suppose, but okay, I'm on my last needle. And I've always thought about doing a scrapgan where you use the leftover yarns from things and create an afghan out of all the crazy weird stuff you've left over. In fact, I have a crocheted afghan that my great-grandmother made, and I'm pretty sure it was a scrapgan because there's some crazy psychedelic colors in that stuff. Let me tell you. Okay, so I'm slipping my last stitch onto from my 4th needle onto my 1st needle. All right, so now we are on round 7. So we have about 10 rounds to go after this, and this is, they say here, when you hit round 10, after round 10 to change the double pointed needles, because probably at that point when they were knitting the pattern, this is when they started having to getting too tight. So this is what they needed, was to get rid of the to get rid of the circulars and use the doubles, and it'll be much easier to do. At this point also, we're going to be having, let's see, it's 68 stitches. Oh, they're not telling me how many stitches now here at the end. By round 11, you're going to be down to 36 stitches. It goes down pretty quick. Okay, so basically the main reason I'm still kind of babbling on is slip, slip. It sometimes takes repeated viewings of certain kinds of stitches, such as the knit 2 together and the slip, slip, knit. All right, and then we're going to be knitting just 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, we've got that 1 extra stitch, so just slide that onto the next needle. And you're sliding it purlwise. That's called purlwise when you just do it straight. When you give it a twist, such as when we're going to go in and do the slip slip, that's giving it a knit twist. Okay? And now we're going to knit 1, and we're going to knit 2 together. I want you to look at your project and you can see how it's starting to come together. All right, so now we're going to knit 10. Hi, Ponger. He's being cute down there. I think he likes that I sit up here and talk and quietly and stuff. All right. There's a lot of slipping stitches around and stuff. And if you knit too tight, which is going to happen, especially when you're a beginner, but I've known expert, people who have been knitting for a long time, and they say they knit very tight. Well, tension is, you have your own personal tension. That's why when you're doing something like a hat, you don't have to worry too much about swatching for the most part. But say you're making a sweater, you have to do what's called a swatch. That's where you knit a 4" by 4" square of the pattern, the stitch pattern or whatever, and they'll often tell you knit a swatch, and they'll tell you what to use for the swatch. But you want to use the needles that they recommend and the yarn they recommend, at least the weight, and check it out, and then you're going to measure if it is within their specs. Okay, so knit, knit, and if you are pretty close, if you're within their, so many stitches per inch, then you're probably good to go with creating the garment the way that they did. However, if you're too tiny, you may need to go up. One solution is usually to go up a needle size, sometimes 2. It just means you knit much tighter than they do. Another thing that you can do is you can, or if it's too loose, I should say, if you knit too loose and it's too big, you may have to go down a needle size. Okay, so that's something to consider when you are creating garments. Okay, I'm on my last needle. See, it's going a little faster now, isn't it? Slip, slip, knit. Stitch 1, two together. Never forget that knit one in between. I think that's part of what's giving it its particular shape as well. And in this case we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have the requisite 10. So now I'm just going to do round 8, which is the same, which is you knit all the way around. And I'm not going to bore you with trying to watch me, although I'm sure it's equally boring just to look at that. I mean, if I could, I'd switch to showing you a sleeping kitty under my desk because he's really adorable and I love this kitty. He likes to be around his people. I mean, with this whole quarantine thing, he actually hasn't been too upset. He's been happy that his people are home. And many cats, they really do love their humans. They really are glad that we're around more often. Kevin is, today's his busy day. They have all kinds of meetings that he has to go to, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's the military. What can you do? Oh, I haven't done Tunisian Stitch Day. So coming up Friday, I'm going to show, my friend Wendy has asked me to demonstrate how to create bulky weight yarn by holding 2 strands of worsted together to do a particular, she wants to make this plant holder she saw, and she didn't quite understand my instructions for how to create bulky if you don't already have bulky. So I'm going to do a short demo on that on Friday. Next week, Monday, if you are interested in Tunisian crochet stitch, Shelly, I will gladly, wait a minute, where am I? Okay, I'm good. I will gladly demonstrate Tunisian crochet stitch. It's pretty easy. I don't know how to do macrame. It requires things that I don't have, and I didn't feel like, I thought about it for a while there. I mean, I've cut so much flippin' yarn, but it always seemed kind of obnoxious. It's kind of like, well, and this is not a diss on anyone who does them. It's like dream catchers with, you know, doilies in the center and stuff. It always seems mildly offensive to me. I mean, I'm not native, so it feels weird to do things like dream catchers. That's a personal thing, and this is not a dig or a slam on anyone. I don't particularly care for them. But yeah, we could, but you know, I'll do Tunisian next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Okay, so I've made it all the way around again. Well, I found a crochet, well, yeah, I did, like I said, Wendy found this plant holder that's crochet, but the yarn, she's like, but I couldn't, I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to do it right. And I said, well, you got to have a bulky weight yarn. And she's like, oh, I don't. And I said, well, there's a way to do it. There is a way to do it with the worsted weight in your stash. The other thing to understand with that is if you're going to do a plant holder, use cotton. And once it's, because the acrylic will kind of get all kind of funky, it's easier to clean the cotton. And it's, if you do it right, you know, especially when you're holding it double, it will actually hold much better. It's more like a rope feel. Alright, so we are now on round 9. So we're going to do a slip, slip, knit. Once again, slip, slip, knit them together, knit 1, and then, there we go, knit 2 together, and now we're going to be knitting only 8. See, you can already notice, I mean, you're getting smaller, the hole's getting smaller, the opening's getting all and smaller, so that'll be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, Center those stitches so they don't slide off. And then we're going to slip this one. Oh my gosh, I'm smelling that pork roast that I'm making, and it smells really, really good. I had lunch too, and it just, oh, that smells really, really good. All right, so we're going to slip, slip, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, beg pardon, and then knit 8. Kevin's gonna go to the commissary tonight and get Neapolitan ice cream because I've been talking about it for like 3 days with this project. Because this is some tasty looking colors, man. It's that perfect chocolatey, like milk chocolatey brown, and that perfect strawberry ice cream pink, and then that creamy white. Oh, so good. Now I want ice cream. Pot roast and ice cream. That's what I want. All right, so slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, we're going to be slipping our stitches. Now, Mama, you'll realize how fast you get to that last needle, and you're like, oh, I'm just whipping through it, and it's kind of nice. 1, 2, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together. You can see from my Russian join I have one little strand. I'm going to trim that out. Alright, and we're going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's exactly 8. And now round 10 is where you will be knitting all the way around. Do 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 do. Look at my coffee mug for a while. How's that? I just have my so for Kevin's birthday, I probably talked about this, but for his birthday we got him a coffee mug of Shakespearean insults from the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. Google it. They've got some good stuff. And then when you send, if you buy a coffee mug for them, they actually have a video that you can go to on YouTube that tells you how to drink from a coffee mug. It is flipping hilarious. We cry with laughter every time we see it. They even have instructions on how to hold, which end to drink out of, and oh my gosh. They do Jane Austen, they do Edgar Allan Poe, obviously Shakespeare, as I've said. They have all kinds of really neat, geeky kind of things. So if you're looking for interesting gifts for the person who likes weird things like weird Shakespearean insults, that sort of thing, go to the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. And my husband's always like, they're unemployed, we must support them. I'm like, I think they're employed, dear. Okay, I'm already on my last needle. You'll just whip right through this when you get towards the end, and that's gonna feel really good. You're gonna be like, I'm so close, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Oh no. I've got musical Tourette's today, and I blame Michael Baker. Because he does that when we're gaming. Alright, so remember, all the way to the end except for the last stitch, because the last stitch of that round we're going to be slipping under the first stitch, or first needle. Okay? Because we're doing the rotation. Alright, so round 11. slip, slip, knit them together, knit 1, knit 2 together, and then we're going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Center your stitches. So next week I should be getting my table, and I'm excited. Okay, so we're gonna slip, slip, because I'm going to get my dollhouse. I have a Jane Austen style dollhouse I've been working on for what, 3 years now, Shelley? 4, something like that. I still need to finish that other book room that I bought. It's not anything fancy at all. It's literally one of those aluminum camp tables that you can fold up, but it's a 6-footer. And it's the kind of thing I can fold up and put away. Card table were usually too soft, and the tops were usually too soft, and the plastic tables were probably more what I needed, but I just couldn't justify the money. But this one, it's got the legs to keep it. It'll fold up like into a suitcase style, so we can use it when we go camping, when we're allowed to go camping again, that sort of thing. Okay, so we're getting around here. So we're gonna slip, slip, knit, knit 1, and we're going to knit 2 together. Okay. But I'm hoping that means I can get a little better set up, but mostly I want to use it for my dollhouse. Because it's comfier to knit in my comfy chairs than it is at a table with a folding chair. Alright, so then remember, slip in that last stitch. I'm on my last needle. Slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, so happy together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So knit those last 6 stitches, and then do round 12, which is knit every stitch except the very last one. Yay! We're gonna get this bear done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's a few. The thing is, it's very difficult to find good miniature tutorials. Some of them are fine. They'll like stacks of storage or something like that. Oh, I'll have to find her. She's good for a lot of things. But some of the things I either don't have the materials, and I don't want to order more materials because I have so much crap in my house. Y'all saw my stash last, when I did it on Monday. My husband was actually like, "Oh, Greg, Meland, why did you do that?" Well, because my stash is cool, man. I can't imagine what Shelley's look at my stash would be kind of full of, oh my gosh, all the different things that you do, Shell. That would just be crazy. Okay, I'm on my last needle. Remember not to knit that very last stitch, because you're gonna be sliding that baby. Ta-da! Alright, so now we are on round 13. Can I help you? Why are you hovering?
Sorry,
No, you're not using that.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Just, okay, you need to be working on your schoolwork.
I know, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing. So I posted a thing. You ever worry where you're gonna run? What are you doing during this quarantine? Oh, I'm mostly finishing up craft projects. So what are you gonna do if you're out of craft supplies? Crazed laughter. You really don't know anything about it being a crafter, do you? And I'm like, that's so accurate. It flipping hurts. I need a studio. Oh my gosh! One of the people I chat with on Discord, when they bought the place they live in, it actually had a shop and a barn attached. So she got the shop for her studio, and he's got the barn for all of his stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I would love that. Well, we're not going to be in the army forever. So remember to slip, slip, knit. Knit 1, knit 2 together. And then we're going to, come here, knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Adjust our stitches. And we're going to slip, slip, 2 together, knit 1. And the thing is, when you're a crafter, there's never enough hours in the day, and there's always so many cool projects that you want to start, and you just don't have enough arms, you just really don't. I realized that if I really did want to turn this into some kind of business, I would need a housemaid, because otherwise my housework will never, ever, ever, ever get done. Not that my husband can't do anything, but if he's working, now maybe when he was retired it'd be different, but that's like 20 years from now, right? So, yes, you do, Shell. Actually, I think you need less kids. You need to kick them girls. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I love your daughters. So slip, slip, knit, knit 1. I mean, I did get a bigger, well, no, I got a same size house, but a lot less people, and I still don't have room. I love you, girls. You're awesome. Yeah, yes.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Isaac. Do you want to say hi to Shelly and the girls?
Hi.
What can I do for you, dear?
I was wondering if I am done for the day.
Have you finished your schoolwork for the day?
I have done my world history.
Okay, and?
I've done my reading, and I've done 2 of my maths today.
I want you to do some of your handwriting today, so you're not doing it all on Friday, and then you can be done. Do at least 5. Do at least 5 sentences, okay?
5 sentences.
Yep. Okay, so I've made it. Oh, and I didn't even realize it. I'm on my last needle already. So now we're going to do, this is a repeat round 2. So you're going to knit all the way around until you get to the last stitch, and then we're going to slip that last stitch. So. He wants to play with his friends, and I'd like to let him play with his friends, but he needs to do his work first. We try to keep it all together. He's been doing really well, though, and if he doubles up his math, which he'll really be able to do once we get done with certain things. This is BS. Oh, Sammy Ammy. You know I love you. Okay, like I said, we're on round 14 already, so we've only got a couple left here. I'm on my last needle. So I'm going to be knitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total of 6 stitches. Okay, so now we're going back to that. It's getting real snug here with all my needles all over the place, and that's going to feel a little like annoying. But you just push them out of the way, like the naughty puppies they are. Okay, So we are on round 15, slip, slip, knit. So let's slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, and then we're just going to knit 2 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, center those stitches, go on to the next needle. Slip, slip, knit, knit 1, oops, knit 2 together, Alyssa, got a little ahead of myself there, 1, 2, center those stitches, move things around. Everybody's like, ah, it's too confusing. No, it's not. It isn't. These are superfluous to everything. These don't mean anything. Only needles that you got to really worry about are the working needle and the stitch needle that you're working on. Not a big deal. Hi, Rachel. So we're going to do a slip, yarn over and pull through, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, 2. Okay, center your stitches. We are on our last needle. Slip that stitch right on there. Get your yarn together. All right. Slip, slip. Do that. You've been watching me do this for several rounds. And if you've come this far, you are patient as heck, let me tell you. And then 1, 2. Now for one last time, round 16, we are just knitting around until you get to that last stitch, and then you're going to be slipping it just like we did. Oh, and it's telling me that I'm running low on battery already. Stupid thing. I gotta adjust this slightly because the cord is now in my way. But that's okay. So knit around. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. What, dear?
Where should I start at?
Where's the mark?
It doesn't say. Is it like right here or is that the
Yeah,
end?
because this is where you stopped, right?
Yeah.
So you're just continuing on.
Oh.
You're just continuing on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I don't mind helping. So we're going to get all the way around. There's 5 stitches per needle. We're going to end up our last round is going to be very, very, very simple. It's going to be slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, repeat around. All right, so on my last one. Come here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now just move them out of the way. I swear it's a lot less complicated than it really looks like. So, slip, slip, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, so you have 3 stitches left on that needle. Okay, slide, slip that needle right on there, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together. Okay, go to the next one, And we're not going to be knitting around, the round 17 is the last of the rounds. After that, we're going to be cutting a long tail and weaving it through our last 12 stitches, and I will show you how to do that. So you have a slip, slip, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, last needle, if I can, there we go. See, it's gonna get crowded, especially with these bigger needles. No, littler needles, it's not, you know, but it's gonna feel crowded. You'll be fine. Oh! It tried to escape, but I caught it again. All right, so do our slip, slip, knit the 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together. Okay, so you're gonna want to cut yourself, they say an 8-inch long tail. It's a pretty good length. So we're all done. The knitting part is finished. Finite. Cut yourself a nice big long tail. Okay. Ah! Take your yarn needle. Thread that bad boy together. Okay. Make sure you've got enough room to give yourself a decent tail. All right. So, this is your first needle. You're just going to slip those stitches right off onto your sewing needle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, remove the needle. Oh. There we go. Okay, so you've got it on this thread. Go to your next needle, slip 1, 2, 3. Okay, pull your yarn through. Go to your next needle, slip 1, 2, 3. Pull your needle through. Don't pull everything tight just yet. Wait until you've got all your stitches off. Okay. And then 1, 2, last stitch, 3. All right, you've got all your stitches on your thing. Pull it tight. But how do you secure it? Take your needle, put your hand inside the top, okay? Just slide your needle through, okay? Pull it all the way through. Then turn your hat inside out, okay? So you're looking at the stockinette side, or the reverse stockinette side, okay? Now you're going to make sure you tug it snug. And you're going to want to go kind of around the circle a little bit up here. Just weave it into the yarn, into the stitches. It might take a little bit. If you have any sewing experience, it'll come in handy here, but just weave it into that circle a little bit. Kind of help reinforce it being tight. Then, you see all these loops and stuff? Take your needle and start going, weave your needle into those. You can split the stitches, go in there, but do it at a bit of a diagonal. Go down a little ways, I'd say about an inch. Go down about an inch. Don't pull that snug, just pull it comfy. Then go right next to it and go back up. Okay? Try to catch as many of those stitches as you can. You can see I kind of missed a couple there, but because we're going to do up one more. Okay. And then go back down. This is how you lock it off, and it is amazing how well this will lock itself off. Okay. Cut your end. Pull everything nice and neat. Ah, but we still have our tail, don't we? At the end. You want to make sure you do that too. So once again, thread your needle. If you can. Sometimes it takes a little doing. Okay. Got it. And we're going to basically be doing the same thing. Now if you have a little bit of laddering where it's a little loose here, just kind of weave this in a little bit, you know, just to kind of tighten it up if you need to. Okay. If you don't need to, like I didn't really need to, so I'm not real worried about it. You see the reverse stockinette. I like to go up in and weave in these sections so as not to and then go back down. It's okay, get it right in there. We marry the fibers, because when you wash this a few times, those fibers are just gonna marry themselves right together. Okay. Everything nice and tugged out, see? Trim your end. Flip it. I'm gonna trim that a little bit because it's been driving me nuts for like the last. All right, we have our very own beanie. Yay! Gonna put it on my head here. Right now it's really covering her head because I pulled it all the way down. But this head is actually slightly smaller than the average human head. Okay. Now, I did promise that I would show you how to use a pom-pom maker. And I do try to keep promises if I can. Do I want to do a large? Yeah, I'm gonna do a large one. Now, if you make if you don't have a pom-pom maker and you want to make pom-poms, you can do that, you know, with, I've seen it with forks, I've seen it with cardboard. However you make pom-poms, I suck at it. That's why I like these pom-pom makers. So, get your pom-pom maker out. Oh, I hope I remember how to do this, Shelly. It's been a while. You know, I don't remember how to do it. How do I start? Do you remember how I start? Is it on the inside? I think it's on the inside. Yeah. That's okay. You want to hold these two pieces together. And I want to say you've got to... Come on. Work them together. Okay, hold up. I forgot. You know what? I am going to find the Clover video on YouTube, and I will post a link to that and how to make the pom-poms. And I will put a pom-pom on this hat. I'm just getting a little brain dead and a little tired. So, we finished our beanie. We finished a product. We finished something. Yay! I am going to give away this beanie. Watch for a post from me that says, "Hey, do you want this beanie?" Just drop me your name with in a yes, and I will do a random drawing. I'm going to give you guys like a couple days. I'll do a random drawing, and then when I pick a name out of a hat, I will tell you, you've won the beanie. So, thank you, Shelly. I love you all very much. Friday, I'm going to do the show you how to make bulky weight out of worsted weight yarn to make this plant hanger. And Monday I'll do Tunisian crochet. And yeah, everybody have a lovely day, and we will, see you all on Friday.